Do you already have the answers to the questions?
I don't know.
Good. That's the right answer. Actually, I don't know is a good answer to all the questions. The power of I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's do a row your boat before you start. One.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Row, row,
Row, row your boat gently
gently
down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Roll, roll, roll a joint, twist it at the ends. Puff, puff, that's enough. Save some for your friends. Okay. Well, thank you. Greetings, and my brother, my friend, and my teacher. Thank you. And thanks for inviting us in. So I'd like to ask you a few questions in relation to this third International Death Doula training. And let's start with this whole notion that there's such a thing as spiritual care for the dying. What is that? What does that mean to you?
Well, it means for me the going from the ego to the soul. And that's what death is, when spiritually. And spiritually, you have to be identified with the soul. For,
When you say ego, are you referring to the roles and the personality and
Yes.
the sense of a separate self?
yes, 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 yes. We Bob bypassed that. That also, the ego. Fear of dying, and the soul. The soul did this thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Thousands. And so there's no need, there's no reason to be afraid. And
is there something the ego can do to not be in fear? Letting go, or practicing letting go, or the recognition that it too will die.
they can love. They can love. That's what they can do. Yeah. In the incarnation, they can think about death.
So the doula, the death doula, is both. Well, how would you describe that? Supporting or showing up for the ego's dissolving and dying, and the soul moving on.
Yeah.
Would you say a little bit about that? Because that's the dual function, right? Because the ego may be in tremendous suffering and all kinds of things, and the soul is not in suffering.
I in my bhakti yoga, we start with the mind, and then we go down to the heart. There are 3 hearts. Boom, boom, boom is one. And an emotional heart and spiritual heart. And you go down to the spiritual heart. And there was a doorway, and that it goes to another plane of consciousness, which is soul land. All of the little souls exist in that. And people like my guru these are Siddha yogis. There's Christ and Buddha and those are sit in the cusp of the between the this little
Can I guess?
yeah.
Between soul land and pure consciousness?
Yeah.
Oh. Got it.
Okay. And they're all those people, those yogis are
Here?
no, they're beckoning to you to come to that while you're only a little soul, but your little soulness, you get comfortable in your little soulness. And you don't pick up the
Why? Because we're caught in the thinking we're this story out here? We forgot who we are?
yeah. Yeah.
So now you've sat with the many, probably by now thousands of people who are dying. What would you say would be in speaking to people moving into this field? How does one prepare oneself to walk into the home, to be with that whole range of feelings and thoughts and resistance and acceptance and the soul itself doing what it knows how to do? What is the death doula, and what would be useful for the death doula to do before they even come into the home?
The sadhana.
To have a practice.
Have practice. So they end up as souls. That's what sadhana is.
Connected to soul.
Yeah. And my experience is the first part of the death. Doctor. And the nurse plays the pictures of the family and the wall. And that's the first part. And then the final part of it was
Letting go.
letting go and the soul loves everybody and loves everything. And that's it's a big transition from your ego. Just environment of love.
So it sounds like if the dying person doesn't have a true and deep and real relationship to their own soul, that seems like that could be something that the death doula, by what you said, practicing their sadhana to be in touch and connected to their own soul, can help the dying person connect to their soul.
The way that works is mirroring. Is the doula mirrors the soul of the and mirrors from the soul place.
So that implies that the doula, him or herself, would need to have a real relationship to their own soul.
Yes.
Not just as an idea or a concept.
Yes. Oh boy, yes. Yes.
That's it, right? At the core of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that actually clarifies what spiritual care speaks to.
Yep.
Without bypassing or ignoring, let's say, the suffering, or the resistance, or the regrets, or all of the stuff that maybe shows up when one isn't ready and at peace with their own dying. So it would seem like one would need to be quite in relationship to one's own suffering to be able to meet someone's suffering.
Suffering is grace. That's the suffering is grace.
That itself is so big, and I know it took you a while to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that light, in a culture that doesn't see any value in suffering, it kind of flips it.
Yeah.
And you witnessing probably so much suffering and resistance in the people you've sat with. What would be helpful for people that aren't dying? What work can we all do before we're on our dying bed where I would imagine that work is more difficult to do.
Keep death on your left shoulder. From your very life.
Make it real.
Make it real.
Because everybody knows they're going to die and they don't know when, but they don't really know that. It doesn't seem like many people act like that's true.
There's a story about Maharaji and KK, his disciple. And they were in a boat along the shore, and Maharaji pointed to a bridge. And he said, you jump off that bridge and you and if you have in your heart dying, nothing could happen to you. It was following discussion of Maharaji said to KK, jump out of the boat. And KK said, I'm afraid, Maharaji. Go ahead. So KK went ahead, and it was this, the bottom was
Shallow. But he didn't know that.
And that's the thing about intuition knows you're going to die. I've been in the hospital, and all sorts of caretaking. And I didn't know, my intuition didn't, you're not supposed to die.
You mean yet or period?
Huh?
You mean yet or period?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you've said so many times, I've heard you say, death, and maybe you were quoting, death is like taking off a shoe that was too tight. And you've had a couple of close encounters. Would you still say that seems to be holding true so far? Maybe we need to differentiate between the death part and the dying part.
Yeah.
Maybe the death part is like taking off a shoe that's too tight.
Yes.
But maybe the dying part is something else.
Yep. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
So what would you say to these up and coming or practicing death doulas that are watching this? Or just to people that might die one day?
Congratulations. You picked a very very pertinent in your life. You picked a path, a doula. First of all, you can guarantee you'll come in contact with truth, and love. And all just come in contact with them. Because there's no reason to meet those. No reason to
Good enough. So we really have to, I think what you spoke to is what stepping into this field is big work, and will change all of us in the process.
That's it.
It is a sadhana to be able to show up and connect it to our own soul.
Yeah.
And really know how to love from a place most of us don't even know about. To be love, as you would say.
Because I no I.
Loving awareness. Loving awareness. The practice you've been giving us now for years, I am loving awareness. Seems like a
loving
practice.
awareness is the soul. It's when you meet your soul, you realize that there's another love in the universe. And I brought up by all the people who were conditional. I was
You mean the love most of us have experienced? I'll love you if.
yeah.
I'll love you
And
if.
I said, my childhood was, I'm loving you because you're a good boy.
Yeah.
School, because you're a good student.
And we all want to be loved.
Huh?
And we all want to be loved.
Yeah. And a good lover.
But somewhere along the line you encountered unconditional love. Did you get a dog?
Huh?
Did you get a dog or? Wait, no, you met a guru. You met a saint. Yes? Maybe that's enough. Anything else? I come back to your practice that you've given us so many times, I am loving awareness, as a way for the ego to make the connection to something bigger than the ego, yes?
The ego, the heart, this I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. You keep repeating that. I am loving awareness. 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 from inside. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
We are loving awareness,
We are loving awareness.
even now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
I hope this camera is live.
Dude,